Whenever I meet with federal employees, I have like a standardized set of questions that I ask, but the question that I most often ask, or just one that, I make sure to ask every meeting, is why did you become a federal employee? Because getting to understand why somebody is doing what they're doing helps me understand how I should help them. And almost every time, the reason that people become federal employees, one of the big reasons is because of the benefits. Because there's so many great benefits, and specifically, one of the big ones is healthcare benefits, FEHB. However, today I have some news that, isn't all that happy. And the news is that the House approved a budget plan that would reduce your federal employee benefits. Let's talk about it. One thing that everyone and their mother in the U.S. knows is that the U.S. has a lot of debt. Okay, we're in deficit spending. We have a lot of debt. We will continue to accumulate a lot of debt, and eventually, we may have to pay some of that debt back, or may have to continue paying it back. And in order to reduce the deficit spending, reduce the amount that the government spends, federal employees and just general federal employees and their benefits are looked at as something that can be cut, can be done rather easily, and it will improve a lot of things for the U.S. Now, whether you agree with that or not, that's up to you. I'm not really saying it does or it doesn't. That's just kind of the stance that they're taking by approving this budget plan. Now, first off, the resolution that the House came up to was to come up with some sort of plan to reduce 1.5 trillion with a T. We're not talking millions with an M or billions with a B, but trillions with a T in spending, to cut it. Okay, and how do you go about cutting $1.5 trillion? And one of the ways that they've come up with an idea is reducing you as a federal employee, your benefits. Now, I'm getting most of my information from the government executive. I'll put a link in the bio below if you want to read the full, article that's written. But the two things that stood out most to me were a couple ways that they wanted to make cuts. And the first one related to the G Fund. Those that have watched this probably know that the G Fund is a very unique fund. I've talked about it quite a bit. The G Fund is actually, what I've said, the most unique fund in the TSP and really almost the entire U.S. because only federal employees can invest in it, and currently it earns a rate of return that is that of, say, a long duration, long-term bond, but you can trade in and out of it just like you can any stock or security, okay? Now, that's one of the things that the Budget Committee is possibly looking at, is reducing the rate of return that is associated with the G Fund. And I've talked about in the past, I've come up with videos and articles talking about how the G Fund's return is probably going to go down in the future. Well, this is kind of coming to fruition. I'm not, a miracle worker or, somebody who has a magic ball that can tell me everything that's going to happen in the future. But this is one that I saw the writing on the wall, and I believe this is definitely going to happen. Because right now you receive a great rate of return through the G Fund for how much risk you have. And I could definitely see them lowering that rate of return. And therefore, if that happened, what would be your other safe option to invest in the TSP besides the G Fund that earned a rate of return? Nothing really. Okay, the F Fund is a bond fund and it's less volatile than the other three, but if the G Fund, earned less than a CD earned, you people that are really safe and conservative are going to have a tough time finding that safety within the thrift savings plan. The next one is changing how the government calculates their contributions to your federal employee health benefits. Those that have FEHB, federal employee health benefits, know that this is one of the best benefits that you receive as a federal employee. I mean, it really is. There's a lot of great benefits as a federal employee. One of the big ones, in my opinion, is the 5% match that you receive. But another one is your health benefits. I mean, they truly are excellent health benefits. Well, that reign may come to an end, and they may not be as good of benefits. That doesn't mean they're not going to be good per se, but they just may not be as good as they were. So the article claims that instead of basing the maximum calculation on the weighted average of the cost of all plans within FEHBP, the federal contribution would increase at the rate of inflation. So what that means is the contribution that the government would provide to you, to the federal employee health benefits, is likely going to be quite a bit less than it was in the past, okay? Which means that you're probably going to have to shell out more for your benefits that you're already receiving. Now, there's a lot of people, pundits and experts that have said, federal pay and federal benefits and the G fund really has nothing to do with the deficit that we're in. There's a lot of other things that could be taken care of, and kind of what, this House budget is looking at is kind of taking away from people that aren't really even causing it and giving it to somebody else. Now, I'm not going to say whether I agree with that or not because this isn't a political channel, but that is something to be aware of, and people are fighting on your behalf to keep those benefits. So, is this something that is for sure going to come through? No, we don't know if it's for sure to happen. We don't know for sure what cuts are going to be made, but I will say this, I am pretty positive that there will be some big changes, maybe the ones that we talked about within your federal employee benefits soon, okay? I also have some news of some big changes that are coming for your withdrawals from the TSP, which I will talk about in another video. So make sure you subscribe, stay tuned to the channel, give me a like, a thumbs up. It helps the channel grow, it helps people see the videos. Give me a comment on maybe what your thoughts are on this, what cuts that you think should be made, shouldn't be made, and if it outrages you, let me know. But this is Cooper with FedRetirementPlanning.com. I will talk at you later.